saying we've started, but there's nothing on. Oh, there we go. There we go.
Is that us? I was going to come through with a Pink Floyd riff then, just the very beginning of
How's it going,
then
guys? Bit of
guys,
sorry,
it's just frigging me and you. Oh, and
Yeah,
then
well,
maybe someone who's watching us. Yeah.
yeah, guys. I
Yeah.
mean, the people that are watching.
Oh,
us.
okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
it's just weird, just us just being us two, isn't it? Huh?
Yeah, sorry, guys. Welcome to this month's live stream. We've had a little bit of technical difficulties, but we're here now. I can't even say it, let alone. But yeah, so there's only two of us this month, as Tom is away in. Where's he gone? Norway or something?
Okay, he's on a ship somewhere.
Yeah, Norway or somewhere like that. I think. Yeah. So just us two tonight. So we're gonna crack on with intimate scenes or small scenes. We decided it was, wasn't it?
Yeah. Was that a new haircut you got there, mate?
Oh yeah, I went and got skinned, and then I got sunburnt to heck yesterday. So,
okay. Yeah.
I went and got scalped. So.
Looks lovely, mate.
Yeah. I'm trying to cool myself down before I get to Italy.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah.
So how have you been, mate?
Oh, not too bad. Be nice to go out and photograph. I haven't been out in too long.
We'll be out soon.
Yeah.
We'll be out soon. What, a week? 2 weeks? 2 weeks now.
Yeah, 2 weeks. Yeah, but it's a long time. I think it's been like a month since I've touched the camera.
Right.
Yeah. A month's a long time, isn't it? Huh?
Yeah, it is. You're telling me. You're telling me. Right. So we're gonna crack on with image one. If Katie can put this up for us. Is it there? It's there.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
So this is image one, and it's like I'm pretty sure that's a monarch butterfly. They're called. I have a feeling. I could be wrong, but I think it's a monarch butterfly in some sand by the look of it.
Sand?
Yeah. Sand, because it looks like seaweed to the left there.
Yeah, it is too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who's that? Who took this? George. Okay, just before we go ahead, George put in an image last month we didn't get around to. So we didn't want to leave you out this month, mate.
I have a feeling he's film as well, isn't he?
I got no idea.
Yeah, I have a feeling he's film camera dude as well.
Okay, right, fair enough.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I think so.
Yeah, it's definitely different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, first thing comes to mind when you see the image is probably that seaweed over the top of the butterfly is distracting, isn't it?
Well, I think that looks. I'm not sure that is seaweed. It looks like grass of some description. But it's weird because it could be seagrass, of course. So,
it depends what you classify as grass, isn't it?
Well, I guess so.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean. It's kind of it's the same sort of thing as you get with overlapping trees. It's kind of creating crosses and overlapping elements in the image, and it's quite distracting, isn't it?
I like the idea behind everything. I think the idea is really, really nice. What I find it distracting is this piece of grass or seaweed, however you want to call it, that's coming over.
Yeah.
On that right hand side. But one thing that really, really distracts me is it's not so much the composition, it's the point of view. It looks as though he's taken the image not straight down. He's slightly tilted over to one side and he's taking it from sort of a right 30-degree stance rather than looking straight down. And because of that, it's a bit wonky, the image, isn't it? Do you see that?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
If you had have just moved the camera across a little bit and sort of focus down and get that composition perfectly nice and neat in there, I think it would have made far much more difference because it is a unique photo, isn't it? I mean, when are you ever going to see something like this ever again?
Or you could even do it in post. I mean, you could do that in Lightroom, so you could straighten.
Obviously, optically, you're going to get far better results, aren't you? I mean, let's face it. At the end of the day, post is post. You're going to lose quality regardless when you go into post. I mean,
because you're going to have to crop in slightly to be able to tilt it.
As powerful as post production is, when you go and start doing changes in post production, you're always going to change the the quality of the image, especially when you're talking about doing something to the image beyond the size of a phone screen,
Yeah.
But I like it. It's a good introduction to the to this evening's live event, which is
Yeah.
small scenes. I was surprised. I would have thought we would have got a lot more images in for small scenes. We
Yeah.
probably haven't had as much feedback with this month's theme as we have with others.
Yeah. Possibly not.
Maybe it's because people weren't quite understand how to approach it.
Yeah.
We were not clear enough, or I'm not quite sure. Themes usually like autumn or black and white or summer or
Yeah.
beaches or forests tend to have quite a lot of people putting images. Then we put this small scenes in, and it didn't seem to get quite as much in. It's a
No.
shame because I think it is a photography. It's really starting to take people are starting to notice this type of photography now because it is a unique style, isn't it? It's
It is definitely, yeah.
and it's very personal, and I think people should appreciate it a lot more. It's not macro, it's small scenes. Yeah,
Yeah.
like this. Great example of it. Good
Yeah.
work, George.
I think it's nice. It's a nice image. Just if that blade of grass or whatever it is wasn't there, it would probably be less distracting and, as you say, straightened up slightly.
Yeah.
Yeah, cracking start though. So what we're going to have to do, or what I'm going to have to do, is come up with a theme for next month. And next month could be an issue, but we'll keep up to date with that because I'm away quite a lot of next month, and we're away obviously with the workshop. So
yeah, it's going to be hard for us to do out on field, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
Might have to have a break for a month, or
yeah, we'll discuss it and see how to do it best. But for the next one, you can start submitting them now. There's nothing wrong with starting to submit them.
Don't say black and white.
No, I'm not. I'm going to say mountain photography.
Okay.
Because we're heading up into the mountains and what have you on the workshop, and I really like the genre of mountain photography, and that's kind of look, drama, and all of that the mountains give you. I thought mountain photography would be a good one.
Might be a good opportunity for us to put up some videos to the group while we're out on field, giving some people some examples.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. Sounds fun.
So for the next critique, then, if you could submit your images to the official Outdoor Photography Guide Facebook group using the hashtag OPG critique, and the theme is going to be mountain photography. That'll be fantastic. Just start submitting them now, and if we're not on next month, then we'll get round to them the next one.
We will. On you, George. Thanks for contributing, mate. We appreciate it.
Well done. Right, so we'll crack on to Bridget Nairn, and this is sand dunes in Australia. So if I can just bring this up. Can I make this bigger? There we go.
Yeah, love this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, now this is really, really simple, but it draws your eye in nicely, I think.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What does it that draws your eye in, mate?
I think for me, it's the shape that the sand's made down here. Although it's kind of made an arrow shape pointing out of the frame the other way, it kind of draws me into this because of the shape of the sand patterns coming in from both sides. It's just a really nice focal point. I do kind of wonder if it's if the scene is maybe a little wide. And whether she could have made it, cropped it in a bit more.
Why is that?
There just seems to be, for my eye, there's a lot of negative space.
Right, okay.
And so all these little patterns and shapes, as beautiful as they are, your eye doesn't know where to, it's going all the way around the page. Although this is obviously the focal point where the little bush is.
Yeah, definitely.
There's lots of these little lines taking your eye out.
Yeah, definitely. I think who was the name of the photographer that did this image, mate?
Just let me come out of here again, and I shall tell you. Bridget Nairn.
Bridget. Okay, Bridget. If you're there and you're listening, I can understand the idea that you've got behind this this image and what's drawing your attention to it. Obviously, the patterns in the sand, but at the same time, this isolated little what'd you call it? Bush. Yeah,
Yeah,
bush. This
yeah,
isolated bush, which sort of separates it and gives it some meaning to the whole landscape. Um, and that's definitely the idea that you've got here. Um, I would consider, because we've got some really, really important patterns in the sand here. As you said, Paul, maybe we're a bit too wide.
mm,
I think if you would have taken away this bush and actually zoomed in and got in a bit closer on those sand details, there's so much to have fun with all those patterns in there, isn't it? Just on them
yeah,
alone. I mean,
definitely.
if you could just give us an example, Paul, because you're really good at doing that in a Lightroom, aren't you? Cropping, and then we like to crop,
Oh yeah, no, like you.
sort of crop in and sort of remove
Let me
that
just
tree.
kind of
Do like
crop
a
in.
16 by 9 crop, but small, maybe. Yeah. Yeah.
So for me, I quite like this over here,
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. Look at that. Look at that. Look at
somewhere
that.
around there, and
Oh,
probably
that's
center it more like that.
that is nice. I'm loving that. Let's open. Oh yeah. Okay, so now let's get into it. Let's do it. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. We want to get some blacks in there. So put your black slider across to the left. Yeah, black slider across. Oh, and open those whites right up. Open those whites. Yeah, 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 yeah. Look at that. Look at that. And now, just go to your temperature slider and give it a little bit more blue. Make it a little bit colder. Maybe a bit too much. Maybe that doesn't work so much, does it? Okay, all right. But yeah, look at that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
even a square crop, even a square
definitely.
crop,
I mean,
you
this
know.
is personal, but look how powerful that is now. That's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
bang in your face, isn't it?
yeah.
Because
And then
those so much pattern in there, isn't there? So much going on in that sand just on its own. There was no point to put that tree in there. But you can
yeah.
understand why she's done it, because
Oh
it's
yeah.
something. It's an isolated subject in an empty sort of landscape, but those patterns deserve attention, in my opinion.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah, definitely. There's
yeah.
so much you could probably pull out quite a lot of different images just out of that one scene, to be
Yeah, it
honest.
makes me want to go and photograph sand. I love photographing details in sand.
I'll just reset that and then you'll see
Mm,
the difference now.
yep.
But yeah, again, a lovely, lovely patterns, lovely shapes, lovely textures. It's just a matter of looking around and seeing how you can simplify a scene like this more than anything. It's what you can take out of a scene rather than what you can leave in it for me
Mm,
with a scene like this.
yep. Yep.
Just catch up on these comments here. And George Carmanicki says, yes, it was a monarch butterfly that was beaten down by the rain and found in the sand. And yes, it's film.
Mm.
And John Martin Bramham says, good evening. Evening, John. How are you doing?
G'day, John Martin. How are you, mate?
So, yeah, lovely image. But that's my only criticism, is I would probably look at this and see how many different shapes and patterns that you probably
Yeah.
pull out of
It's
that
not so
one
much a
image.
criticism. I think it's personal taste what it
Yeah,
comes down to, isn't it,
well,
really? I
this is it.
mean, she would probably she likes that isolated tree there, so that's great. But it's just an example to show you, hey, you can you can you can take a detail out of another detail, can't you?
Yeah, definitely,
Mm.
definitely. Fantastic. Right, just want to remind you, next month or the month after's live critique is going to be mountain photography. So if you could upload your images to the official Outdoor Photography Guide Facebook group using the hashtag OPG critique, would love to see them. Right, then on to the next one, which is by Damien Amor, who does a great job of submitting every month.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah,
I
I
appreciate it,
think
mate.
see that name come up quite often, actually. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
some good images. This is lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure he said this was a 30 image focus stack.
30 image
Yeah,
focus stack.
yeah.
Really?
Apparently, and maybe because he was trying to get that insect totally sharp,
Okay.
possibly. I have a feeling.
Yeah.
But
30 image. Okay.
yeah,
Be interesting to see what it actually says on the let's just have a look and we'll go to the group for a second. Now where are we? Just want to see where it is on the. I'll be really interested to understand.
I really like the image though. It's
lovely.
It's
Yeah.
really creamy bokeh behind it as well, which is obviously, for those of you who don't know, is the out of focus areas around the image.
Yeah, definitely.
It's really creamy, and it takes quite a lot to get it that creamy. Usually, a really fast lens usually to make it that creamy and silky behind.
So that's it. Okay, so shot this in my front garden last spring after noticing this little critter on one of my alliums.
Alliums, yeah.
I think it was about a 30 shot focus stack. Wow, 30
Yeah.
shots. It's very interesting. I'd like to see what it look like in one shot.
Yeah.
It's crazy, isn't it? This macro type of photography. You don't think that you need focus stacking, do you? But it's essential, isn't it?
Yeah, I really like the shot. It's simple.
Yep.
It's the actual subject's unobstructed, so there's nothing actually getting in the way. He's paid really close attention to make sure there's separation between everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
beautiful.
really
Love those natural colors to it. The soft palette. It's a delicate, soft image. It's just beautiful, and everything's just where things need to be in focus. They're in focus, and wow,
Yeah.
beautiful shot. Really, really like it. I couldn't have gotten away with something like that.
No, it's hard, isn't it?
I've tried shooting insects. Yeah, they move.
Yeah, that's why I prefer landscapes.
That's right. Yeah,
They just don't move.
yeah, except for the trees in the wind. Yeah,
Yeah, that's about it. And water. Yeah,
don't
that's
you
about
hate
it.
and water? Yeah,
Yeah. But
beautiful.
yeah, Damien, that's a beautiful image. I can't really critique it, mate, because it's really nice. I
No,
like it.
we're critiquing it. We're telling you how beautiful it is, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Wow, gorgeous. Really, really lovely. Yeah, definitely. On you, mate.
Right, so where's my other image? So for next month, I just want to remind you, mountain photography is going to be the theme we're going to go with, or the month after, we keep saying. Plenty of different things you can come up with around that. It could be the weather, it could be the mountains themselves, it could be more close-up images of mountains, could be wide scenes of mountains. Plenty to go at. There's plenty shapes and patterns that the mountains are making. It could, there's so much you can do with it. So get those submissions in. We'd love to see them, and you can start putting those out now. Even though we may not get to them next month, start putting them out now, and we can start collating them in a list.
Definitely.
So use the hashtag OPG Critique and submit them to the official Outdoor Photography Guide Facebook group. And if you're not a member of that yet, please go and join the group. Right,
and contemplate too with the group too. If you go onto the actual website itself, it's got the subscribe. It's full of video tutorials and lots of really interesting information for outdoor photographers. So if you're signed to the Facebook group and you haven't yet, go over to the website, the official Outdoor Photography Guide website, and subscribe. I think it's only like $1.50 for the subscription or something, isn't it?
It's they have specials where it's that. Sometimes, I mean, I don't think it's regularly that price, but they sometimes have specials,
it's definitely a good investment for anyone who's learning photography, or anyone who's out there to find a community of photographers. It's a great place to be. So
definitely
go and check it out.
So I'm going to bring up this next one, which is Jeff Daniels. Come out of the developer minute. And bring this up, and this has got a lot of really nice elements.
I want to go there. It makes me want to go there, doesn't it?
Scotland apparently, and I have a feeling I know where it is. I've got a feeling I have a suspicion I know where that is. It's a beautiful little area, and it's got some There's some really nice light falling on various areas of the image as well. Off to the right here, there's some light on this tree here. Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah, look, it's definitely obviously where the subject of the month is small scenes, isn't it? But in this scene's case, I think he's gone in a little bit too much. When you look at that, I'm a little bit suffocated by
Mm.
by the scene. It makes me kind of want to see more, you know?
Yeah,
Do you
I know
feel
what you
that?
mean.
Especially the bridge at the background there. I mean, that bridge, I'm assuming, should be the sort of the point of interest of the scene.
Yeah,
And definitely having this waterfall with these lovely rock formations and the moss and the ferns and everything sort of guides you into this beautiful bridge, an ancient bridge in the background there. I mean,
yeah,
some of these bridges are what, up to 400 or 500 years old, aren't they, in England?
really, really old ones. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Um,
yes, I know what you mean. It's kind of almost squashed down at the top.
yeah,
Really.
I would just like to see a bit of it, just so that the scene does lead you into that bridge.
Mm.
It's not leading; it's leading you sort of underneath it rather than to it.
Yeah, and there's nothing
Um,
really under there that's a point of interest. It's just
no,
brighter.
no,
It's just
it's just a little
brighter.
bit. It's just a little bit brighter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, this place, I would love to have gone there, maybe in at earlier morning, and sort of opened up a tad more. Definitely get a little bit lower. I don't know if it needs to be a bit lower to the ground, but try and get a bit of that more dynamic water right in your face there. Wider, this very wide water, and then sort of that water sort of leading in, and then coming to that bridge in the back there. I'm sure you can do it because it looks like one of those places where you could do it. I think you just got to, yeah, just sort of. It almost looks like it's shot at about between 35 and 50 mil, doesn't it? Where it kind of needs to be shot at
Mm. Just a bit.
20
Yeah.
mil, you know? Do,
But
do you feel that?
I guess it also depends on what's below and what's above the scene as well. I mean, it's difficult because you don't know actually what's above that bridge.
Of course.
Because sometimes you can get obviously below the bridge can be really, really nice and picturesque, and then you look above it and it's not that great. There might be a lot of sky in the scene. There
Yep.
could be numerous reasons why he's done this.
Oh, yeah,
Really.
definitely.
But
But it
yeah, I
just
know what you mean.
if that was the case, I personally wouldn't put the photograph forward. I mean, this happens a lot in photography, and you see it a lot, especially on social media these days, where people put up an image, and when you put an image out there, you're expecting to get feedback, aren't you? Otherwise, you don't
Yeah,
put it out there. You're not expecting
yeah,
everyone just to say, "Oh, that's a wicked image. I love it. You're awesome.
yeah.
I'm going to follow you." You're expecting to get feedback, whether that feedback be
Mm,
positive or negative. And so whether you, even if you don't ask for it, you should expect to get it. And a lot of time, this case comes up where people say, it's a lovely image, but if you just had it got a bit further back, and the answer is, well, I couldn't because there was a fence there.
yeah,
Okay, there was a fence there. Then maybe you should think about not posting the image or keeping it for yourself
yeah,
and trying to find a situation a bit different.
yeah.
A lot of people get a bit defensive in that case. Yeah, but I couldn't do it because there was a truck up on there. Okay, well, don't post the image. You
Mm,
know, go back when there's no truck. you
yeah.
know, um,
Or just spend more time trying to work out a composition that does work.
yeah.
Part of
We're
the
saying
problem,
this just because it is such a lovely scene. I think this place deserves to go back. It
yeah,
deserves
yeah.
to have the attention. It looks like a lovely. I want to go there.
I think part of
Um,
the problem is, especially these days, there's a lot of pressure on people to kind of keep going out and grabbing shots one after another, another shot. But putting a bit of effort into just spending time in that one location and just sitting and observing the scene and working out where would actually work better.
mm.
And given the scene more time, you would probably work out a different point of view that actually does work better.
Why do you think there's a lot? What are you saying? There's a lot of pressure on people for what?
Well, it's social media in general, isn't it? It's social media in general with the pressure of kind of constantly putting images out, constantly putting content out.
Well,
So
if you're a pro- if you
mm,
if you're a working professional, you feel like you have to show people you're doing something. But if you're not,
yeah, yeah,
I mean, definitely, I use this from my point of view. For example, I've never posted often on social media. I've never done it.
mm,
I started late on social media, and I only ever put images out there that I've spent a lot of time on, and images that I feel like that for me, I will put them in a gallery,
mm,
um, and it's the images that I've maybe looked back at over and over again over a period of a week.
yeah,
Sometimes,
yeah,
sometimes you can get an image where you put it up on Lightroom and just think, oh, that doesn't need anything. It's perfect as it is.
mm,
I'm going to let it sit for a day and then I'm going to post it tomorrow because I think that it's just the way it is. But a lot of the time, I mean, I'll use myself as for example. I'm the prime example of someone who doesn't post often,
yeah.
and photography's got me to where I want to be today. So you think you have that pressure, but I think a lot of the time it's in our head that you
Well, it
have
could
to
well
do it.
be. It could well be. It
You
could
know,
well be. But
yeah. I mean, it's one thing if you're a working professional and you have to show your clients regularly that you're active,
mm,
and you think people are going to forget you. That's not the
yeah,
case,
no,
because
no,
if you put one image out that really, really is a very, very well thought out image that really is a deep and meaningful piece of art to you, when it does go out, people will see it and they will notice it. And that's far more rewarding than just posting just
yeah.
for the
Chucking
hell of it
stuff
because
out.
you
Yeah,
have
yeah,
to. That's the
yeah.
way I've always looked at it. I know a lot of people don't, probably 80% of the people don't, but
Mm,
I think especially if you're a hobbyist photographer, it's a good approach because
yeah.
you learn a lot more by slowing down. You
Well,
know,
slowing down, and it's learning exactly what we're doing here. We're critiquing your images. Well, it's learning to self-critique.
yeah.
So look at your own work, and if there's something that really bothers you about something, then work out what's bothering you and what you could do to solve that
Mm.
problem. I think that's kind of where it is there.
Definitely, definitely. And it happens so often too that we see photographers on social media, that photographers that we look up to and think that they're um, photographers of a certain caliber, and because all of a sudden they feel they have to start posting regularly
Mm,
on social media all the time, I often come across stuff and I'm like, what is going on there? Why did you even bother doing that? You know,
yeah.
um, don't degrade yourself. Keep your standard up, and I'll look at it, for example. So this is off the photography topic. We do have time anyway. We're at 28 minutes, and we're into
Yeah.
some images. I often refer to photography. Photography is an art, and I bring a lot of it back to music. And I look at the example of Eric Clapton. I'm sure everyone knows who Eric Clapton is. Um, Unfortunately, when Eric Clapton lost the life of his son, I believe it was 1 year old,
Yeah,
wasn't
something
he?
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, the tragic story. Um, After that happened, Eric Clapton went and basically he hid away in, I think it was in Spain, for about
Mm,
12 months. And in 12 for those 12-month period, he basically just played guitar nonstop and just wrote one song over 12
yeah.
months. It took him 12 months to write that song. That song was Tears in Heaven. It
Yeah.
took him 12 months to write that. Masterpieces sometimes need time, and maybe everyone has that masterpiece there. They just don't give themselves time to bring it out, to showcase it, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Hmm,
It just comes down to time. That's all it
it
comes down
does.
to. A
It
lot of
does.
cases, it's just
Yeah.
using time in different ways, for sure. Right, guys, moving on.
Mm,
Fantastic image that, by the way, mate. It's just
yeah.
that's the only criticism I would kind of say is that's kind of what's letting it down more than anything. It's just it feels a little tight at the top, but there's so many elements there that work really nicely.
Mm. Stick your mobile number in the bottom in the comments, mate, because Paul's going to be calling you to find out where it is next week. Looks like a brilliant location. Great
Yeah,
find,
it
buddy.
does.
Great find. Yeah.
So next month or the month after, please get your images in for the OPG critique using the hashtag OPG critique, and it's the theme mountain photography, and submit those images to the official Outdoor Photography Guide Facebook group. We'll love to see them for the next one. Right, so next one is by Alexander Terashenko. And this is granite, apparently. Looks like polished granite.
Yeah, like it. What's the first thing that grabs your attention, Paul? The first thing you see when you see it? Instant, bang, straight off.
Instant, straight away. I've got round circular shapes going on here.
Okay.
That's what stands out to me more than anything when I first saw it, is that if I look at it, there's kind of a circle shape in there. And that's actually what draws my eye into it.
Okay.
Hi Theo, how are you doing?
Hey Theo, how are you, buddy? Thanks for joining us, buddy.
And I think the other thing that stands out to me is obviously it's sharp at that point where that circle is, and then it goes soft the further up the image you go, so it goes more out of focus the further there. So it's actually sharper in the lower section of the image than it is the upper section. But yeah, I think it's just the patterns and the shapes that really stood out, and the colors.
Okay. And stand out in that it attracts your attention, that you find it pleasant, or
it's competing. You know, I find it a little bit competing because there's lots going on. And although my eyes kind of see in this circle round here.
Which circle are you talking about, Mike? Because
it's just a pattern in the stone. So if I move the mouse over, can you see my mouse moving?
No, I can't see your mouse, mate.
No, you can't.
No.
Round here? Can you see it now?
Oh, yeah, almost.
Just
saw something here. Flash by. Okay. Yeah, look, I think this definitely, it's the crop that I find distracting. So I know we talk about crops a lot, but crops are so damn important. We've got these digital sensors these days, and we need to take advantage of them. They're so powerful, aren't they? So
yeah.
I don't appreciate the portrait mode.
No.
For such an image. Turn it for a sec, mate.
So hang on, what am I going to develop? I can't remember how to turn it. How do you turn it?
You go angle and then flip it around. Now you go back to crop. And you got angle. And see the angle? You can flip her. Yeah. And then just change the crop mode once it's flipped. Oh, no, it doesn't do that.
No, it won't do it.
Oh,
Didn't think it did.
No, because I've actually never done it before. Oh, there we go. Okay, we'll just maybe it's down the bottom there in
Tell you what I'll do. I'll just do a square crop of it, because that's probably what I would do.
It's down the bottom. It's right down the because I normally do this in Photoshop. I don't crop in Lightroom. I only do white balance in Lightroom, and then I open everything up in Photoshop. Yeah, okay, do a square. Yeah. Square, you've even focused in a bit more on some of the details. It's made it a bit nicer.
Yeah, I think so, because I think there's your eye doesn't really know where to go.
Not with a portrait, because there's nothing in it that's actually portraity, you know.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. It
because it's details. You're not like looking at you're not.
Are you still distracted now, or
not as much?
Oh, okay. I honestly don't find any distractions in it, to be honest. It was mainly this just this crop. I don't understand the choice of making it portrait. Maybe you had a long vertical wall in your house that you wanted to make it print and fill it up. That could be the reason why, but I think there's a bit of unwanted vignetting, or is that just a damper area on the ground? It's a bit darker down there.
I'm not sure whether it's ground though, because this looks like polished granite. So I have a feeling this could be like a polished granite work surface or something like that.
Right.
Because that all looks too flat, if you know what I mean. So I think it looks like a polished granite.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not the floor of a beach in Cornwall, is
No,
it?
no.
Okay.
And I think that's possibly what's kind of creating a bit of the distraction for me, because usually in something like this you would pick out something that really stood out to you within the frame,
Yeah.
and it's got no one focal point. You know what I mean? There's not
Yeah,
one thing that
definitely.
you focus your attention on.
Mm.
So that's what I mean about my distraction, is that I'm kind of looking all over the image. I'm not actually looking at one point.
Right, okay. Fair enough.
But
So you're just saying he just walked into his kitchen and just took a photo of the...
Well, it looks like polished granite. You know, it looks like that sort of polished granite. I could be wrong, but that's what it looks like to my eye.
Yeah. Sometimes it's hard too with the compression that we've got. We're not dealing with full resolution images too, so it's hard to fathom, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. That's what it looks like to my eye, anyway. But yeah, that's the one thing I would say for me, anyway, is just not one focal point to look at.
Okay.
I mean, if you were on a beach and you were doing something like this, you'd usually pick out something that stood out, either a different shape, something that was slightly, could be a round pebble in amongst all of this.
Yeah, a bit of foam coming in from the tide, a bit of
whatever
water
it might
left
be
over.
to kind of give you a different point of interest and something that's different in the frame. And because it's all the same, it's just, that's my point of view anyway.
Yeah, okay.
But thank you so much for entering the image. This is the whole point of doing these critiques. We're here to help you, not here to criticize.
Yeah, for sure.
Just this is what we would see. What you're seeing is completely different to what we would see. I mean, what we don't want to do is put you off. If you've seen something of interest there, don't let us put you off taking the shot, because it's your point of interest. It's just how you could go about making it slightly more interesting. That's what we're trying to do.
That's right.
So yeah, next month or the month after, mountain photography. Submit your images to the official Outdoor Photography Guide Facebook group using the hashtag OPG Critique. Right. Where is my other image?
Alex says it was a big polished granite slab. There you go. There you go.
Thanks, Alex. Well done, by the way.
So I'm hoping that the granite slab was outside when you took a photo of it, because if it was indoors, then technically you shouldn't have been posting it to the Outdoor Photography Guide group. No.
But yes, definitely. It's a detail shot, so it's a small scene.
Small scenes, indoors, outdoors, same.
Right, just before, we're obviously going to have time to hit on a couple of more, but we wanted to bring up one of Simon Booth's images.
Ooh.
Just to give you an example of a small scene.
Can we tell people who Simon Booth is, Paul?
You can.
People don't know.
Off you go. You give an explanation.
Gee, why don't you put me on the spot, mate? I don't like being
you're good at putting me on the spot, so there you go. Boom, back at you.
I don't like being under pressure. I don't like being under pressure. I'm shy.
Yeah.
Simon Booth. Simon Booth he's actually been on our podcast. Do you remember that, mate?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't that long ago. We've only had 20, 21 people on this, so it wasn't that long ago. Simon Booth is an amazing photographer. He's a British landscape photographer, and most people who know Simon know him because of his YouTube channel. He's got a very informative YouTube channel that covers also lots of information about nature, doesn't it? And and bird poo. Yeah.
But his main thing is these small details and small intimate scenes.
This guy walks out into a local forest, so nothing epic, just the local little woodland close to his house, with his medium format camera and some very, very good lenses, and he just picks out details and also some big scenes. But he is, for me, the type of guy, if you're ever in a creative block, go and have a look at some of Simon's images, and he'll get you out of that creative block because he sees, he sees, he
Yeah,
sees,
yeah,
and
definitely.
this is a perfect example of it. This is, I believe, um, was it parsley? I think
It's cow
wild
parsley. It's cow
cow
parsley.
parsley,
Mm,
yeah. And you can, like, normally people don't take photos of this type of stuff. This is stuff you sort of walk on top of with your hiking
mm.
shoes when you go into a location, isn't it? But
It's a
there must have,
weed. Technically, it's a weed here.
it's a
You
weed,
know.
okay.
Yeah.
But it's like, must have been a really delicate light. The
Yeah.
light was in the right place. You can see that he's used a very, very good focal length, and
Yeah.
that softness about it is all about depth of field, isn't it? He would have had
Yeah.
other flowers in front of him, and he's sort of taking that image through other parts of that shrub or weed or whatever you want to call it. So you've got all
Yeah.
this blurriness around you, then through the gaps you've got this sharpness, which just creates this very ghosty,
Yeah.
subtle, delicate feel to it, doesn't it?
It's like looking through a misty window, basically, is what it's
Yeah,
got that
yeah,
effect.
yeah.
And
That's what I love about his work. Like, look at that.
yeah, and I think like the image that we had before of the insect, it's got that sort of same appeal with the out of focus bokeh, and it just draws you in to that one point, and that's kind of what I was referring to with the previous image. There was no one focal point to view,
Mm,
whereas something like this, he's created that one focal point for you to see by making it in focus and the rest of it
mm,
blurring it out.
mm.
It's a form of, I guess it's almost like a form of vignetting without, you know, you know what I mean? It's not actually a vignette, but it's creating the same sort of effect as a vignette would do.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, I just love the subtle tones to it, the light,
Mm,
that dreamy light, and at the same time, you've just got, these very, very delicate yellows and these desaturated, washed out greens,
mm,
and just got such a beautiful color palette, doesn't it? It's
yeah,
just
yeah,
so, it is, it's a painting, and, just look, everyone, at the way that it's composed. I mean, there's so much balance to what's in focus is in the center, and it's just works so well, doesn't it?
yeah,
Um,
yeah. It's a lovely image, really is.
it is, yeah. We would have been nice to get some more information out of Simon. I did message Simon today to ask him, some information, but he must be out. He's probably out in his
Mm,
caravan with his wife or something somewhere out in
mm.
the camper van, because I didn't hear back from him. But yeah,
But
people who don't know him, please go and check out Simon's work. He's an amazing photographer.
yeah, definitely, definitely. And I think with these small scenes, I think what you have to kind of think about a lot of the time as outdoor photographers and landscape photographers, we're looking at this massive scene in front of us. We're looking at how much we can, fill a frame of all this beauty around us. Well, when you start looking more intimately and you see what actually makes up these larger scenes, you'll start to see these smaller shots appear. If
Mm,
you it's very much about looking at the habitat and what actually makes up all these scenes. So these smaller flowers, for example, or leaves on the ground, whatever it might be, all of these elements that make up this broader scene are photogenic on their own, and it's just about pulling those shots out.
yeah, definitely. I use this as an example of, it's actually a video I did on the Outdoor Photography Guide website. One of the tutorials I did about scouting new locations, and the tip I gave was, when you get to a when you're going to a location, you're going to a destination for a particular reason, because there's one point of interest that you're generally going to, isn't there? Like,
Yeah,
if you're going to the Farden Darden Falls, you're going there because there is a waterfall,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So go there in the right light, shoot that waterfall,
hmm,
and get your image. Once you've done that and you're packing up and the light's still good, when you leave, give yourself some time, going back to your car to look around and start
Yeah.
looking for fine details, because generally in these beautiful locations are so beautiful because they have their own microclimate, don't they?
Yeah.
The destination, whether they're inside a deep canyon where it's very like cold climate, tropical, or it's
Mm.
up in a mountain where you got lots of storms. So it's a lot colder. So you get different flowers in certain areas, in certain heights. They got their own microclimate. Because of that, they have their own little creatures, don't they? Their
Yeah.
own
Yeah.
little something beautiful about everywhere you go to, and
Yeah.
it's so important. Just give yourself time when you're leaving and walk around and study and pull out, just crank your ISO up and put your shaker reduction on and do some handheld shots and
Yeah.
have fun with things like this. Yeah.
And it overall, it'll tell the story of the wider scene. I mean, if you've
Mm.
got that wider scene, you could include all these images as a story to tell how it makes up the wider scene. It's just, think
Yep.
about it like that.
That's right. I'll just copy and paste them into your foreground like a lot of other photographers do on Instagram.
We won't go there. Right. Lovely.
True.
Image. Right. I just want to say for the next one, then we're going to do mountain photography. And again, there's lots of these little elements that make up mountain photography as well. So there's lots of these. You could pick out ferns in rock crevices. All of this stuff can be made up because if it's in the mountains, it's mountain photography.
Mm.
As well as the wider scenes, the smaller scenes. Just remember, mountain photography can cover a wide range of things. Just get your submissions into the official Outdoor Photography Guide Facebook group using the hashtag OPG Critique.
Mm.
Right. So I've got a couple of images because we're getting on now, and we've got quarter of an hour now. So
Yep.
I like this one. I pulled this one up, and this by Joseph Mark.
Yeah. Yep. Joseph's very good contributor to the group, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, he's very active. I just want to catch up on these messages before we proceed as well. Julian Dew Hall, good evening, guys. Hope you're well. Thanks, Julian. Hope you are too. And Julian saying, loving the very edges, how they draw you back into the center. And that was on Simon's image. Yeah.
Mm.
So, yeah, this image of Joseph's, I think what really attracts me to this is the hanging moss, and the light on the tree itself. Those two things really made it stand out for me. And I think how he's made this separate from the background using the darker background against the color and the moss has really made this pop as well. I do wonder if this would work better as a smaller crop, as there's quite a lot of it in the frame. What are your thoughts, Matt?
I'm finding my distraction, and this could be, I could be wrong, but my distraction is the inconsistency to the light. Like you said, you got this dark background, right? And it could be in a deep valley with the sun shining straight over the top.
Yeah.
I just feel like if that is the case, there's the light sort of catching everything pretty much. It seems a little bit inconsistent. I don't know how far into post-production we've gone here to achieve this effect, but I would like to see probably the light a little bit more realistic. And I could be wrong here. Like I said, we are looking at low resolution images, and I'm actually, you see my head turned every now and then because over here I got myself a color calibrated monitor, and when I'm looking at the monitor over here, I'm seeing, even though it is a low resolution image, I'm seeing details. Yeah. A lot more than what you guys are off the live stream. So, I love that. Yeah, what is it, man? Old man's beard, isn't it? You call this? Old
Yeah,
man's
it looks
beard?
like old man's beard. It's very similar to that, anyway.
Yeah, it's definitely a beautiful, beautiful subject. I think it's got nice balance. I don't think it needs to be cropped in more or anything. Probably, if anything, maybe just a tad further out, just to give you a little bit more of a sense of what's going on. A little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah, but maybe, but maybe there was nothing to take around. But yeah, do you understand where I'm coming from? That just the
Yeah, I
light
know what
just
you mean.
seems, yeah,
I know what
it's
you mean. I mean, you do get usually you would get some sort of light on the background.
yeah. And another thing, and this is something that we have to learn in post production is when we have the shadows and then we have highlights.
Hmm.
So generally speaking, our naked eye uh, doesn't have one white balance. Our brain is very very intelligent,
Mm.
and we get to see local white balances all mixed up, all banged together in the one go. Like our
Yeah.
eye is incredible, right? Now, when you're looking in shadows, what does our eye actually see? Our eye sees the truth. So a shadow is actually a lot cooler, and a
Mm.
highlight is actually a lot warmer. And in this case, because the sensor isn't our brain, the sensor captures one white balance, doesn't it? And what
Yeah.
as it captured, it's either captured cool or warm. So
Mm.
it's our job in post production to get those shadows and cool them down a little bit to make them true to life. And in this case here, on a color calibrated monitor, I'm seeing an inconsistent um, color white balance variation. So that background, although as dark as it is up on my monitor, I can see the details behind there, and they're warm. So
Mm.
that's something I would look at, mate. You look like you're a very competent photographer, and you're moving forward very, very quickly. So I would suggest you to look into um, to have a look at that. And yeah, it's definitely an awesome subject. Really, really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Catching up on the messages again, Alex added, I was lucky to see how professionals do different granite things. The slab was just polished and it was still wet. They just put it outdoors to dry. When the granite is fresh, it's very colourful. In a few minutes, the water evaporates.
Mm.
Yeah, so there we
Oh, it's like
go.
a rock, isn't it? Yeah, we love wet rocks, don't we?
Yeah, yeah.
When we're photographing. Yeah.
Right, so the next live critique we're going to do is going to be on mountain photography. Really want to see as many submissions as you can put in, and don't feel that as though you just have to put one in. You can put as many as you like in because we're just going to collate a list of them for the next live stream. So
Mm.
get those in using the hashtag OPG critique and submit them to the official Outdoor Photography Guide Facebook group. Right, last one, which was another tree, was David Skinner's. And the reason I chose this was we did kind of framing the landscape last month,
Yep.
and I like the frame he's got going here.
We can't see it, mate. I can only see.
Oh, why is that?
It's gone.
Why's it gone?
Yeah, so we can only see just our two ugly heads now.
Hang on, Katie, it's disappeared off screen. If you're there, hang on. No, screen sharing's gone for whatever reason. Let's try it again. No, nothing.
That's a shame. Wonder what had a bit of a technical problem.
Yeah, we've had a couple tonight. I don't know what's happening with the internet
Mm.
tonight, but yes, unfortunately, I can't show you that one.
Yeah.
Basically, what it was is there's some beautiful tree trunks kind of framing some more trees in the background, and although it's a beautiful frame, there's just lots going on. But maybe what I'll do is if we've got time for the next live stream, I'll keep this on the back burner. Oh, there we go. It's up now.
We're back again now. Okay.
There we go. So this is the one that David put through.
Yeah.
And what drew my eye in was these frames he's chosen on either side.
Yeah. Too many frames, isn't there?
The problem is there's so many competing shapes.
Yeah, definitely
going on here.
Yeah,
it's really difficult to know what to look at.
Mm.
Even though it's framed, to me, that should probably be the subject there, that tree, and yet what we've got is light on one of the frames rather than what I would probably say is the subject.
Yeah, David's he's put in some good images in the past. He's a very good photographer. I can see what attracted him to this scene. I mean, if you walked up to it, I'd want to photograph it too.
Yeah,
But sometimes it's it's not that easy, is it?
no,
Got a bit of inconsistency too, haven't we, with focus as well
yeah,
too. Those the trees on your right hand side, they look a bit soft as compared to the ones in the middle of the frame. So
yeah,
this probably would have an image like this, if we had to critique it technically rather than look at it on a creative level. Technically, definitely, it probably would have benefited from some focus stacking, I think.
yeah,
Yeah, because especially that tree on your right hand side is far too close into the first third of your into your frame, isn't it?
yeah,
The focal distance is extremely close, so by the time you focus in on that tree, everything in the background's soft. So it would have benefited from definitely from focus stacking. Would you
yeah,
agree with that, Paul? Yeah,
yeah. I would, yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
And probably would have benefited from maybe walking around a bit more and trying to find some. I can see if you look in the top third of the frame on the right hand side, look at the patterns in that
Well,
tree there.
I was just about to say, do you know what, David? Do you know what I would have done? See this tree right here? Hang on, I've just got rid of
Oh,
it.
yeah,
Up here, this branch here with all those patterns in the bark.
yeah,
I probably would have focused on that and tried to go
yeah.
in tighter to it.
Yeah,
And
definitely got up right close, got in there, and
yeah,
use that as just a complete point of interest, and
yeah.
faded off into the background. But
Yeah, I think that probably would have been my point of interest in this scene.
yeah, it's just especially because there's so much going on the right hand side of the frame, and the left hand side there's nothing, is
Yeah,
there? So you're not going anywhere, are you?
no. And
No,
again,
no.
there's no direct light on anything but that branch on the right hand side. So that's kind of where your eye's drawn to straight away, because obviously the brightest point of the image.
Definitely, definitely.
So, but yeah, David, I mean, keep putting these images in, mate, because you're doing it every month, and
Yeah, we
yeah, you really,
appreciate it. Appreciate it. You
fantastic job.
yeah, we've come to pretty much a close, haven't we, mate?
Yeah,
So
I would say so.
everyone knows that next month we might not be doing the live critique.
We'll keep you updated on the Facebook group though, and on
due
social
to
media.
Unfortunately, it happens sometimes, quite a couple of times a year, that we're out doing extensive workshops, and it makes it difficult for us to get internet connection or actually dedicate the time, because we do dedicate the time away from just a live event to actually analyze the images that are coming up and consistently look through the group to make sure that people are posting. And if we're away in a workshop, we kind of have to dedicate 100% of our time onto our workshop clients that we're with, and we can't walk away from that. People pay to go on a workshop with us, and they pay for our time, don't they? So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But we'll keep you updated as to what's going to happen for next month. But either way, please get those images in, because there's nothing to stop you submitting them now, and we'll start going through. We can even start commenting on them now if they start coming in, and we'll start compiling a list for when we do the next live stream, which will either be late next month or it'll be into July.
We've got Theo who commented up there tonight. So Theo's was one of our last workshop clients who came on a workshop over here in Italy, in Abruzzo, and he's got lots of mountain images. So I'd be curious to see if he'd pull something out from the workshop, and maybe we could chat about one of those images on the next critique. Be good.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. But yeah, get those images in using the hashtag OPG critique, and get yourself onto the official Outdoor Photography Guide Facebook group and start interacting. Get yourself on there if you aren't already a member of the group. And we'll let you in and get you going on there, because it's a really great community of people, and they do give a lot of good feedback. So get yourself on there.
And hopefully we'll try and push everyone to start getting a competition up again soon.
Yeah.
If everyone remembers the competition from last year, it'd be good to get another one out there, wouldn't it? That was very successful, the last one.
We'll have to see what we can come up with. Right, guys. Thanks very much for joining us. Can't wait to see what you come up with for the next one. Cheers, guys. See you
Thank
soon.
you. Thank you. Bye. 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 Bye.
We're still here.
Hello. You want to talk about something? You want to do a promo? You want to do a dance? No?
Hang on, then.
Because we can't. We still on here?
Yeah, we're still on.
Give
it rest.
We've had a few technical issues this evening, haven't we, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
And we can't really do anything.
Know any jokes?
No, just don't even go there, mate.
Don't go with the jokes.